What if the biggest financial mistake you could make today is betting against United States? Sounds bold, right? Because everywhere you look, people are saying the same thing. America is declining. The best days are over. This time, it's different. But let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that every generation believes they're living through the worst moment in history? Think about it. If you were alive during the Great Depression, you would have sworn the system was broken beyond repair. If you lived through World War II, you might have thought the world itself was ending. And yet, here we are. So the real question isn't, is America changing? Of course it is. The real question is, does change mean decline or evolution? Now, I'm going to walk you through something most people completely miss, something that could change how you see markets, opportunity, and even your own future. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because by the end of this video, you might realize that what looks like uncertainty is actually where the biggest opportunities are hiding. So stay with me. This isn't just history. This is a lesson that could shape how you think for the rest of your life. Is America losing its edge, or is this just another chapter in its long history of change? A question that shows up in every generation, just dressed in different clothes. Hey, if you're into real down-to-earth money talks and mindset shifts that actually teach you something, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Well, let me start here. If you study history long enough, you begin to notice a pattern. People always think their moment is the most uncertain. Their era is the one where things feel like they might fall apart. And yet, history keeps moving forward. Point 1. Observing businesses, markets, and human behavior. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Never underestimate a system that is designed to adapt. Now, let's talk about the United States. From the very beginning, it has been imperfect. We like to remember the ideals, freedom, equality, opportunity, but the reality, we didn't live up to those ideals for a very long time. Think about it. The Declaration of Independence said, all men are created equal, but at that same time, millions of people were enslaved. The Constitution counted certain individuals as 3/5 of a person. Women for generations had no right to vote. In fact, it wasn't until the year 1920 that the 19th Amendment finally gave women that right. So if you're looking for a country that got everything right from the start, you won't find it. But here's the part that matters. The story of America is not perfection, it's progress. Over time, slowly, sometimes painfully, the country has corrected itself. Not all at once, not without conflict, but consistently. And that's what makes it unique. Now let me make this personal. I was born in the year 1930. If you think the world today looks uncertain, you should try growing up back then. I was born right into the aftermath of the Great Depression. People had lost jobs, homes, savings, banks had failed, confidence had collapsed. Then came World War II, a global conflict that reshaped the entire world. At the time, no one knew how it would end. And not long after that, we entered the atomic age. Imagine that. Human beings suddenly had the power to destroy entire cities in moments. That wasn't something people were calmly predicting when I was born. So when people today say, this feels like a time of massive change, my response is simple. Of course it does. It always does. Now, here's something I've said before, and I mean it quite literally. The luckiest day of my life was the day I was born. Not because I did anything special. I didn't send instructions ahead of time. I didn't negotiate with my parents. I just got lucky. At the time, only about 3% of the world's population was born in the United States. 3%. And I happened to be one of them. Now think about that. Same person, same abilities, but if I had been born somewhere else, under different circumstances, my life would have looked very different. So before we even talk about markets, or economies, or investing, it's worth acknowledging something simple. Where you start matters. And the United States, despite all its flaws, has historically been one of the best places to start. That doesn't mean it's perfect. Far from it. There are always things to criticize, always things to improve, always areas where we fall short. Point 2. A system that allows criticism is a system that can improve. Now let's bring this back to investors, because I know that's really what's behind the question. When people start questioning American exceptionalism, what they're really asking is, should I bet against the United States? And my answer, based on everything I've seen over nearly a century, is this. Betting against America has historically been a very expensive mistake. That doesn't mean there won't be downturns. There will be, plenty of them. We've had recessions, we've had market crashes, we've had wars, we've had political turmoil, we've had periods where everything felt like it was falling apart. And yet, over time, the system kept moving forward. Why? Because of people. Entrepreneurs who build new businesses, workers who adapt to new industries, innovators who solve problems no one else could solve. Think about the transition from an agricultural society to an industrial economy, to a technology-driven world. That didn't happen by accident. It happened because millions of individuals kept pushing forward. So when someone asks me whether the country is going through fundamental change, I say, of course it is. That's what it's always done. The real question is not whether change is happening. The real question is, will the system continue to adapt? And based on history, I'd say the odds are very good. Now let me add a little perspective with a simple analogy. Imagine you're looking at a long-term chart of the stock market. From a distance, it trends upward. But if you zoom in, it looks chaotic. Sharp drops, sudden spikes, moments of panic, moments of euphoria. That's what living through it feels like. But over time, the direction becomes clear. If you're getting value from this message and you want me to continue, like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't get to miss out on any of our videos. I drop messages like this daily to build your mindset and finances. Thank you. Let's continue. Point 3. Progress is not smooth, it is persistent. So when you hear people saying, this time is different, this is the end of an era, things have never been this uncertain, you might pause and ask, compared to when? Compared to the Great Depression? Compared to World War II? Compared to the Cold War? Every generation has its challenges. Ours is no exception. Now, does that mean you should ignore risks? Of course not. Being optimistic doesn't mean being blind. It means understanding both sides and still having confidence in the long-term outcome. And here's something I'd emphasize, especially to younger people. You don't need a perfect system to succeed. You just need one that keeps improving. So if I were being born today, knowing everything I know now, I'd still want to be born in a place that offers opportunity, mobility, innovation, and the ability to build something over time. And historically, the United States has provided that combination better than most. Now, let me leave you with this. It's easy to sit back and analyze the world, to point out what's wrong, to debate whether things are getting better or worse. But the real opportunity is to participate. Because the future of any country is not determined by headlines. It's determined by the actions of its people. So here's a simple question for you. Are you betting on decline or contributing to progress? Because one of those paths leads to fear, the other leads to growth. And if history is any guide, the people who choose to build, to adapt, and to stay optimistic while staying rational are the ones who come out ahead. So don't just watch the story unfold, be part of the story. Because in the end, the greatest investment you can make is not just in a country, it's in your ability to grow within it. So let me leave you with this. Every generation faces a moment where it feels like everything is falling apart. Headlines get louder. Uncertainty feels heavier, and people start asking, is this the end? But history has a funny way of responding. Not the end, just another chapter. Now think about your own life for a second. You can choose to focus on fear, to sit on the sidelines, to constantly question whether things will get worse, or you can choose to position yourself for growth, to learn, to adapt, to build, no matter what the environment looks like. Because the truth is, progress doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It happens because people decide to move forward anyway. And here's the part most people miss. The future isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you participate in. So when you ask, is the system going to survive? Maybe the better question is, am I preparing myself to grow within it? Take a pause and ask yourself this question again, and make you have an answer this time. Am I preparing myself to grow in an ever-changing economy, system, or country? Because in the end, the people who win are not the ones who predict every crisis. They're the ones who stay rational when others panic, who stay patient when others rush, and who continue building when others hesitate. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you hear someone say, "This is the worst time ever," pause and ask yourself, compared to when? Then make a decision, not based on fear, not based on noise, but based on long-term thinking. Because if history teaches us anything, it's that those who keep betting on progress, while staying disciplined and aware, are the ones who come out ahead. So don't just watch the world change, position yourself to benefit from it. Don't just study history, use it. And most importantly, don't just ask where things are going, decide where you are going. If this video brought you value or stirred something in you, give it a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Don't just watch and go away. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. I'd love to hear what stuck with you the most. Always remember, the greatest investment you will ever make is not just in a country. It's in your ability to think clearly, act wisely, act fast, and grow, no matter what the world throws at you. I'll see you on the next one.